3,000 people, about 700 planes, 200,000 vehicles, and 5,000 facilities. It's a massive thing that this organization is now about. It also had its humble beginnings. In the early started up in 1973. In fact, we're going to celebrate our 50th anniversary next month. The one other part of it that now I have to mention it since you mentioned it earlier, the digital assets of FedEx are also now equally powerful. We always had a digital DNA that was the undercurrent of the physical footprint that I just talked about. If I would put Arvind's presentation about hardware and your conversation about the digital economy, I would just add the fact that there's also now the intersection of the physical and the digital, and I'm about to reinvent FedEx as 2.0, moving from a product to solutions to a platform with digital underpinnings. So that's it feeds right into what you were talking about earlier. Now, I'm not here to talk too much about FedEx. I just wanted to really talk about what Loyola in particular has contributed for me as I progress through my journey in life. There are several things that I have drawn from here that has kept me going. I think, let me start with the core things. There was such emphasis on integrity, honesty, ethics. In Loyola, when I was in the functional role, I was this, chief marketing officer in Asia Pacific, and so that's one set of things. And I got promoted to this role where I was the president of a region where now I'm responsible for 5,000 blue-collar workers. So I showed up in Canada, and they're looking at me like, he's not Canadian, he's not American, who the hell is he? And here I'm supposed to lead these people. And I was trying to build a rapport. It was, it was difficult. Then purely by chance, an opportunity came my way to do a reality TV show with the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. And I jumped at it. It was an opportunity for me so reality TV means you're on TV, the camera's on you from morning till night, starting at 5 o'clock in the morning when they came to my house. And I switched roles with frontline workers for a whole week, again on reality TV. They were looking they had 40 hours of footage. They were looking for about 20 minutes. And they're looking for 20 minutes where I completely screw up so they can make fun of me. Well, I gave them enough material that they had to do 2 shows. And it was a big hit because it was kind of a fun show. But at the end of the day, after that, when I walked into a station, which I did constantly, our couriers would be, hey man, you want to do my job now? And it was like the ice broke, the rapport was good. People are very, very important. By the way, on hardware, you're going to need that very, big time. The other part was servant leadership. It's a very important thing that I learned in Loyola School. What is the role of the leader? Is to support the team, not to really direct them what to do. And the pyramid is really inverted. The leader is at the bottom of it. And the last thing I would say on that is, of course, the core of education and the foundational skill sets. You all made fun of me about math and physics and so on. Part of it is surely made up because I don't recollect any of it. But nonetheless, the skill sets that U.S. Sebastian saw and others, and in particular I mentioned one of the name, Mr. Pillai in mathematics, was so important to me as I moved through, whether it is going to IIT or then moving on to further school and of course through my work. I mean, that's of course what it's all about. So these are some of the key value systems from the Loyola spirit, the Loyola system, the Loyola school, the friends, everything else that have helped me as I move forward. So as I look ahead, I'm really grateful for the opportunity that I have today, and I'll continue to put in the best effort I possibly can, and of course, pay it forward. And this is important that all of us, I think, take the opportunity to be grateful for the things that's happening to us and make sure that we are able to give it to others and experiences more than anything else, so that the others can benefit from that. Continue to champion. I know I told this in the morning as well. When I talked to a lot of my friends, they absolutely, 90% of them hated their school. I was shocked because I loved my school. And I was wondering, what is it that's different? I've still not figured it out, but whatever we have in this secret sauce of Loyola here, the all-around education and everything else, we need to continue to champion that, because I think every child needs that love for that school and education that we all have. So, I want to conclude by saying thank you. This is indeed an amazing honor. I've been fortunate enough to be awarded this, that, and the other thing, but coming back to the roots, coming back to school, and being here, especially with my friends today, there's nothing to beat it. And important here as well, because I found myself throughout my career I've traveled the world constantly, and I've also lived and worked in different parts of the world. To be able to put yourself in the other person's shoes and look at it from the other side, the empathy. I know I traveled the world with my colleagues, from the US, go to different parts of the world, and we do all these, meet people and make assessments. And when we come back and talk about it, I find that my perspective is usually somewhat slightly or maybe significantly different from the others. And I've noticed it over and over again. I was thinking, what am I missing? Then I realized I'm not missing anything. They are the ones who are missing it. And I think it's the foundation of the way you think about things and how you're really putting yourself in the other person's shoes and looking backwards and seeing. And those perspectives have become very important for us as we make personal business decisions. Another element that's I think is important that I've learned from Loyola is the notion of teamwork. We spoke about cricket. Anish was our fearless leader and one of the greatest cricket teams I think we have ever produced in Loyola, if I may say so. I think we did not lose a match since 8th grade or something like that. It was an unbelievable accomplishment. The teamwork and the team spirit that we had was really very, very good. And I think that is, in an environment like FedEx, that's very important. 550,000 folks. I tell you what, I'll tell you a story. But within about 12 hours, we set up a process where we have 2,000 retail outfits all over the country that they could bring it there and everything else will be taken care of from that point. And then we've got, 750 of those. So we moved more than 100,000 oxygen concentrators in that time period. So that's what I mean. That's what I mean by the sense of purpose that's in ability to support. And I was really, really humbled, and please don't think I'm being immodest here. I was really humbled this year when I got a call from the Indian government, and they recognized the efforts that FedEx did by awarding me the Parvasi Bharat Samman Award for the NRI award this year. The other thing that is core in the Loyola spirit is respect. Respect for others. And fancy words like diversity and equity and inclusion these days. But at the end of the day, when you grow up with an environment where you are open to everything, and ultimately it's about diversity of thought. And that foundation, if it's not created correctly, you already have these unconscious biases. And then you're dealing with different things. I don't know, I'm sure my friends would agree with me. we had no bias. We treated everyone with equal equality and fairness. And so this idea of DEI and all those things that people talk about today is very natural to all of us. So I think that's been a big area of core that's been helpful to me. The other part of that is also a few of my now Indian origin CEOs in America, and everyone was basically thinking the same thing. Within 24 hours, on that Sunday afternoon at 11 o'clock, we had a Zoom call, and there were 60 of the top 100 CEOs on the planet on that call. It was unbelievable how so many people came together on the one call for the cause of India. I've never seen anything like that in my life. All of us made a few phone calls, and the next thing you knew, it was all together. And the very next day, the same group now included also the Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken. It was an amazing pull together of a mobilization of effort. And then also the Indian government was, there. And so we asked the question, what do you want? Well, it was oxygen, oxygen, and oxygen. So, we don't know anything about it. So then everybody started pulling together, money and where's the oxygen, this, that, and the other thing. And sure enough, the money started to flow and they identified sources and everything else. The next immediate question was, how in the world are we going to get it to India? Then I looked around and I was like, hey, that's me. And, we have 40 flights a week in and out of India every single day and connect the world to and from India. So we started flowing these oxygen concentrators in and out, and we were just doing it, on a regular basis. And literally that Friday evening, I'm sitting at home about 10 o'clock at night, I get a phone call from a stranger. I don't know why I picked the phone, I picked it up. It was this lady, she was in Dallas, and she said, my father is dying, you don't know me, my name is so-and-so, my father is dying. I have an oxygen concentrator in my hand. Can I bring it to you? Can you take it there? And I was like, I don't know. When things go really bad, you're not looking for a manual or a playbook. There is no such thing. At that point, you're going back to your core beliefs. And those core beliefs are founded, I agree, I would think, when you're in the formative stages of life. And those core values of high integrity, high ethics, honesty, those were foundations for everything that all of us who have been through the ladder system have taken away. The second thing I would say is a sense of purpose. After all, every business is got a sense of purpose about what they're about. I'm actually, I was impressed, Arvind, that you were talking about, you're just starting up and you're already talking about the purpose. I mean, it's amazing. Our purpose is to connect people and possibilities around the world. And also, I find myself that when things are not working or something goes wrong or disasters happen, we are usually the ones running to help. It's akin to something like this. Your neighbor's house is on fire and you're the one with the fire hose and you run to help. Let me tell you what I mean by that. I'll give an example which relates completely to India. In April of 2021, when COVID, I think the Delta wave was raging in India, and it was like it went all of a sudden. And I remember that first weekend on a Saturday, I'm sitting at home, I'm thinking, I gotta do something here. So